Hey everyone, it's Jay here. I'm making this video to run you through how to install Statamic and a developer environment from scratch with all the gnarly bits. So all the bits that other people leave out where you run into problems and you have to Google them to try and get yourself out of them. So the first thing you're going to want to do is install Xcode. So Xcode is Apple's set of developer tools that are normally associated with iOS, so developing on iPhone and things, but you tend to find that you need them somewhere along the line, either for Git, which is version control, because I don't think that comes by default with macOS. I could be wrong on that. But also you need some command line stuff that, as I say, typically you end up having to install this. So the best thing to do is just go ahead and look for Xcode on the Apple App Store and get that downloaded, because it's currently about 12 gigabytes and it seems to increase in size every time they add a new version to macOS. So it takes a while to download. So get downloading that first, and once that's done, we can crack on. So while that's finishing up, the first thing we're going to do once Xcode is installed is install a load of things through what are called Dotfiles. And I nicked this off Rob DeCourt, who's a developer in the Statamic community. And you can find these if you search for Rob DeCourt Dotfiles. So Rob's said here, feel free to copy parts of this for your own Dotfiles, which is exactly what I did. And it does a load of things that you can see here. We don't need all of this, but maybe you want to go through this and try and decide yourself what you need. So it says here, part of the Dotfiles installs Xcode CLI tools. So I don't know, maybe we don't need Xcode to be downloaded, maybe it just does this for us, but still recommends you install Xcode. It has some other things like iOS Simulator, which is useful. So gnarly bit number one is that as I record this, the Xcode install is just spinning. It's just spinning for probably about 10 minutes now, and I suspect what's happening is that Xcode is installing in the background, but it's not really telling us that. So I'm going to leave it running, I don't know, another 10 minutes and see what happens. And I'm going to pause the video until then. Okay, so fast forward about, 40 minutes, and this is still spinning. So much so that I've now Googled it and found this post where someone else has had the problem with this getting stuck on Monterey, which is what we're on. And there's loads of different comments about what to do, restarting, and some people saying that it's still running for 2 days and it's still not installed. So at this point, we're going to try something else. I've actually asked Rob whether we need to run Xcode or whether we can just do the Xcode CLI install command, which is in the Dotfiles, and he said that we just need to do that. We don't need to have Xcode installed, thank God. So what I'm going to do now is try to quit the App Store. Command Q. Well, that worked. If I go back to the App Store, what does it say? It's still spinning. So because it's still spinning, at this point I'm going to restart my Mac to make sure that that's not still running and come back. So I'm back and it looks like this is still spinning. So what I've done is I've Googled it, and it seems like other people have the same problem. So this seems like the most sensible thing. I searched a bit and found a suggestion. Deleting some cache files might help. So I'm going to quit the App Store, go up to the library, which is above the user folder, and then caches. Deleting some caches files might help. I deleted files in relation to App Store. Store app. Okay, that's not here. Okay, so in this case, I'm just going to delete everything. Move to bin. It's asking me for... Don't have permission. Okay. But I managed to restart, and just as this fired up, it was loading, and I clicked it quickly, and it stopped the app from starting to download. So I think I might have been able to do that previously actually. I'm not sure whether the cache helped, but I've managed to stop it from downloading. So let's try and install Xcode CLI tools just using this command. So I'm going to copy that, and then if I search for the terminal app, open that. This is what it looks like by default. I hate this, so I'm going to quickly change it. So you go to the terminal preferences. I think I like Homebrew, files Homebrew, and I'm just going to bump this text up to, let's say 14. Let's open a new window. Let's quit that. Open it again. That didn't work. Why? Blah blah blah. If I click default here, maybe that's default now. Yep. Let's make it a little bit bigger. 18. So now I paste Xcode select install. I think I'm going to need to type sudo before that, which stands for superdo, I think, which is like a higher command, but let's just try it without. So now it's saying requires yeah, install them, agree. I hope it doesn't take that long. While we wait, it looks like I didn't need to use sudo. I could just do Xcode select install. I'm now going to pause the video and wait for this to finish. So that maybe took about 10 or 15 minutes, not the scary 94 hours that it threatened. So now that it's installed, I'm going to just restart my computer. It doesn't tell me to, but from experience, I know after a big change like that, it's best to just do a restart. So I'll be back in a sec. So the next thing I'm going to do is just make sure that the CLI tools are indeed installed. To do that, I'm just going to Google. So how to check Xcode CLI is installed. There'll definitely be some kind of command. Okay. Here you go. Xcode select version. So I'm going to copy that, paste it. Okay, it looks like that it's installed. So clone this repository. In this case, you can just download the zip. So I'm now going to fire up my version. So in my instructions, what I've said is to copy this folder to the home folder, and the reason for that is if we look at the commands in here, it assumes that the Dotfiles folder, if you like, is in the home directory. This is, I think, the home directory of the user, this little squiggly line. So I'm going to just trust what I wrote. And I'm assuming Rob's is going to be the same as this. So you can do this by going to your home folder and making sure you have invisible files shown. So that's the other thing, is that macOS by default doesn't have invisible files and folders shown. To do that, you press Command Shift and then full stop. If you're having trouble, just Google how to show invisible files on macOS. So I'm just going to do that. And now you can see in here are a few invisible files that only developers need to really see. So I'm going to create a folder called Dotfiles. I'm going to copy that. So I'm going to open a new tab, go to my home folder, which is here, and then create a folder, call it .dotfiles. And by beginning with a dot, like it's saying here, what it's going to do is it's going to basically treat it like an invisible file. So you can see, oh, it hasn't marked it as invisible. I don't know why, but it should be. If I toggle that off, yeah, it's gone, and on, it's invisible. Copy everything in this folder's content into newly created, including the visible files. So if I go back here and highlight all this and copy it in here. Now change directory to this. So I'm going to press Command C on this and say cd Command V, which is the path. So I can see I'm now in .files. Okay, and now I'm going to run this command, sh install.sh. I think sh stands for shell. So what does this do? So I'm going to open this in Visual Code. So we can see what this is going to do now. So it's going to display a message, install omyzsh, which I think is like a utility thing that sits on top of terminal to help you do things. Configure symlinks, which is something to do with this. Let's open this in Visual Code. Okay, so I think I've copied a load of stuff out that Rob had here. I'm going to copy this out. I don't know what this theme is. We're going to leave this the same. Install Homebrew, which is like a library that helps you install other things. So I think if I search for Homebrew here, it says the missing package manager for macOS is a package manager. I think that's going to help us install some other things down the line. And then install these packages. Okay, so this is what it's doing. So it's installing like PHP for us. Mailhog, which is used for testing, sending mail over SMTP. WPCLI. Okay, I think that's a WordPress thing. Just leave that there. Install these casks. Okay, so these the casks are basically macOS apps. So it's a short way of doing this. So like CodeKit I definitely want. So I've commented these out because I already have them or don't want them. I don't need Telegram. Sublime Merge. I don't. Oh yeah, I want Sublime Merge. Image Optim. And then these are optional like Mac apps. So this stuff is kind of like fluff really. You don't need any of this, but this is what we do need, like installing Composer. So Composer is used to manage Statamic and all the packages that it's built on. And a load of stuff here. So we definitely want Laravel Valet, which controls how sites are routed locally. We want it to make a sites directory, and it's going to configure Valet. So we want it in the sites folder. And it's going to install ImageMagick, blah, 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 restart. Okay, I think I'm okay with the rest of it. So that's fine. I'm just going to close that, which will save it. So let's do that now. So let's make sure we're in the Dotfiles folder. So we are, we can see up here, Dotfiles, and then run this. So I'm going to copy that command and paste it here. Do I need to say run? Maybe not. Let's just try it without. Enter. That was fine. Put in my username, password. Here we go. Okay, that seemed short. I don't think it did the other things. I don't think it did the rest of the stuff. I don't think it installed Homebrew. Okay, let's try again. We don't want to overwrite that. Let's try run. Nope. I'm going to close that. Oh. Okay, terminate. Let's go back here and try this again. I don't know why that stopped. Okay, I'm just going to comment this out. So I commented out at the beginning of the script and ran it again, and you can see that it started to install Homebrew, and it ran through the rest of the script, installed Composer, did a load of things, installed Valet, and then I restarted my computer. So that's where I've got to. So the next thing I did was run sh macOS.sh, and this just runs through some system preferences and sets some defaults using terminal as a sort of shortcut. And then the last thing I'm going to do is copy the aliases.zsh into my home directory. So if you check this out, this is something that I added, and it just allows us to start and stop Valet with an alias, like a shortcut. So I'm just going to, if I go to my home directory, show hidden files, let's just copy that and put it there. Okay, so now that that's done, let's try and get a Statamic site up and running. So I have this sites folder, which was created as part of the script. So these are my notes that I have on Statamic, and I've got here, check you have Composer installed using this command. So we should have Composer installed. Composer version 2.3.3, so it seems like we do. So I think we can skip this. Once Composer is installed, so I'm going to try this. Actually, I need to be in the sites folder. So I'm going to go to sites here, press Command C, and then go back to terminal and press CD, which stands for change directory, then Command V, and then enter. So now you can see I'm in sites at the top of this. So let's try Statamic new test site. See what happens. Good start. Let's do a blank site. Create a super user, yes. Okay. Test, test, test. Right. So now we can see that the test site is in our sites. So now I need to link that to Valet so we can run test site.wip, like work in progress, locally. So here, I think it defaults to .loc, but I prefer, so that's short for .local, but I prefer WIP, which stands for work in progress. I think I can just copy that. So now it says Valet is configured to serve the top level domain WIP. The next thing we need to do, so now we make sure we're in the sites folder, in this folder here, and then we say Valet secure, and this is just going to make it HTTPS test site. Now it's going to just ask me to put my password in. Then it should give it a certificate and restart Nginx. So now the moment of truth. I should be able to go to https testsite.wip. It's going to give me a warning. Way. So this is Statamic running locally. Now I'm going to jump into the control panel and contact@jgeorge.co.uk. Test, login. Now we have Statamic working running locally using Valet. So it's nice and easy to manage the domains. And that means we don't need to install MAMP or XAMPP or whatever else. It's all running in the command line. And that's it. That's my journey for getting Statamic up and running locally on a new machine. There'll be definitely some more stuff I need to do. For example, connecting to Git so I can get all my Git workflow working with a server management tool such as Ploy. But this is enough to get you started and to get you to a point where you can start hacking away at building a site and using Antlers to change the templating and setting up blueprints. I hope you saw that it can be definitely a little bit fiddly, but through some perseverance we can get there.